And we are sure that this is a seed that is being planted into the hearts of many seated here. And I'm sure that it's going to be fruitful and God is going to be glorified. Okay, so we were searching and we were searching and we were searching for a vibrant young person who can actually be the master of the ceremony for today's program. And we couldn't find any, the age limit of, I should say, even 30s and 40s. The only person we thought who would do justice to this is our dear Sundar Singh uncle, who is the secretary of Anand Education Society. So if you ever, I am not trying to mince any words, I'm not trying to exaggerate, it's not required for me to do that as well. But in the little time that I have spent with him, I find him very humorous, sense of humor is really great. And I'm sure we're all going to have a very meaningful and a very good time uh, in the rest of the time. So I request Uncle to come forward and take over the rest of the session.
Thank you, Tej, for the youth certificate given by the old student. Youth certificate given by the old student. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are fine? Fine. Normally, this afternoon is the best time to speak to a congregation, right? Is it right or wrong? They say that is the best time. People will be very alert after lunch and all. They will hear you. You can keep on talking for hours. They will be alert and am I right? No. So you will be all sleeping in the classroom in the afternoon. Those people they don't say no. You are not saying no. So you will be sleeping in the classroom? Yes. Oh, some are very honest. They say yes. Okay, good evening. Good afternoon, every one of you. I imagine you are in my house. My wife is a very good host. I imagine everyone is not affected by diabetics, any sugar problem, nothing like that. Okay, she is a good host. So she comes with a plate of sweets. Laddu is there, jangri is there, rasagulla is there, Mysore babu is there, chocolate is there. What more sweet you want? Badusa is there. Gulab is there. All sweets are there. Okay, all sweets are there. And she's a good host. So she compels you, take all the sweets, taste everything else. Will you taste or not? You will taste everything else. Ah, good. For me also, if I want to trace the roots and tell everything else, just like that, a plate of all sweets, so many incidents are there. So much, so much, so much. I do not know. Like you, I cannot take every sweet. I cannot take every sweet. Okay? So I do not know what to select, what not to select. I have so much to tell. Okay? But time constraints. Okay? Tej has already given me a good certificate. So I should complete in right time. Okay? So I will try to restricting lot of my stories and everything else. I will try to be on the subject. Okay? What is the topic for this session? When Mr. Punraj Annan, when he gave the welcome address, he said something. What did he say? What did he say? Oh, he welcomed you all. What else he said? After a convention, after I spoke in a convention, one person came to me. Sir, you gave a good sermon. You gave a good sermon. And I asked him, oh, thank you. What is that good in that sermon? It is very nice. It is very nice. It is very good. It is very humorous. It is jolly. What is the goodness in sermon? What is the goodness in sermon? So you should hear, okay? He said, this session is meant for finding the roots. What is it? Finding the roots. In your language, this is a history class. This is a history class. What is the class? We are going to trace the history of this honest education or history of this vision. Okay, so we may take little time to explain certain things or tell certain things in detail. Okay, will you listen? If you feel I am boring, you can raise up your hands. You can raise up your hands so that I can change the modulation of my sound. I won't stop. I won't stop. I will change the modulation, or we can sing a chorus. We can sing a, okay, for advertisement. Advertisement break. Okay. Okay. Right. In Tamil Nadu, have you heard about Tamil Nadu? Is it in India or somewhere else out? Oh, in India. So you're very good in geography. Wonderful. Thank you. In Tamil Nadu, there is the movement working among college students and post-matric students called Union of Evangelical Students of India. In simple form, we call UESI or EU. In the mid 70s means between 74 to 76, like that. Okay. In the mid 70s, there came a revival among the senior people who are working in that college students ministry. They are all working in colleges, banks, companies, and different places. Okay, the Holy Spirit awakening has come very much. One such person is Professor Ivan Balasingh. I call him Ivan Annan, even though I was a student of him when I studied pre-university course. Now you say higher secondary, he was my student. He was my, not student, I was his student. He is my teacher. Ah, you are awake. Thank you. He is my teacher. Okay. This Ivan Annan, he was overpowered by the Holy Spirit very deeply during mid 70s. Whenever the Holy Spirit comes upon a person, he will give some certain specific burdens in his life. In Ivan's life, he gave a burden towards mission. He gave a burden towards, Annan was working in a college, he gave a burden towards mission. He began involving in the mission very deeply. He began involving in the mission deeply. He began to associate with various missionary agencies, mission leaders and all. And he began conducting camps for students, mission retreat, mission camp, like that. He began doing it. Lord began talking to him. You are involving, you are associating people. What are you going to do for mission? He prayed, Lord, I am available for mission if you call me with a definite purpose. And God directed him to give burden about mission and to send missionaries to North India, to cross-cultural mission. So much. I am going very fast, okay? So he began sending people to various missions. On one fine day, one young man who completed a degree in economics came to him and asked him, you are in a better position, you are a college lecturer, you have got a good house, you have everything else. I am from a very poor background. My father has only a bullock cart. I have two sisters to get married. We don't have any financial things. I have son. If I go to mission, who will take care of my family? Who will take care of my son's education? If I go to a remote village in North India, there won't be any school, there won't be any people to take care of my people. Who will take care of my son, my children? This question kept lingering on Ivan Annan very deeply. He began praying about it. He began thinking about. He began sharing about it with all the people with whom he came into touch. As a result of it, as I told you, he conducted a camp called Missionary Training Camp, 10 days. That will be more strict than an NCC camp or any semi-military camp. Okay, very, very strict. And then is a disciplined NCC officer. Okay, so it's all done. So during one of those earlier camps, I think it is in, it is in 1982 where Mr. King Solomon attended the camp. Annan took steps to start the first school for missionary good, missionary kids, the first such formal kind of a school in India. The first such formal kind of a school in India. There were a lot of things happening here and there with informal structure, with this kind of a structure, that kind of a structure. This is the first residential formal education school coming in India in 1982. What is the name of the school? What is the name of the school? Santosha Vidyalaya. Anand Niketia, somebody said. Santosha Vidyalaya in Donawood. Okay? Am I clear? Are you following with me? Yes. So the vision and the objective behind the school is, the vision of this movement is to develop residential school mainly for missionaries working in cross-cultural context, developing a school for children of missionary working in cross-cultural condition, and then always advise against missionaries who have the facility to send their children to a nearby school. He will never encourage them to send those children to the school. He always encourages cross-cultural missionaries to. That is why this school came into being. Are you with me till this stage? Are you with me? Is it a small thing or a difficult thing? Running a school is a small thing or a difficult thing? He was working in a college also then. I saw him when his daughter is going to share certain things about Ivan uncle and the struggles he went through and all. She will touch all these points. Okay, she is here. She mainly come here to share all those things. So I am not going to touch all those things now. Okay. So the school, Santosha Vidyalaya, came in the year 1982. So they came to Ivan Annan and said, Annan, why can't you come visit our place and see what is happening there? See what is happening so. And as a result, Annan promised we would come. So in the year 1992, three from that USA committee and everything else, three decided to visit this place. One is Professor Ivan Palasingh. Number two, Dr. Gavo John. The third person in the original list is Mr. S. Ponraj. The third person in the original list was Mr. S. Ponraj, who was the principal of Santosha Vidyalaya then. At the last minute, there came a change in the program, and instead of Mr. Ponraj, another young person who was working in the school came with him. Can you guess the name of the person? Can you guess the name of the person? Mr. Sudaresan. God is a great person. We cannot understand the plans of God. His plans are providential. So instead of Mr. Ponraj, probably if Ponrajanan would have come in that place, he would have been a principal. He would have been a principal. God wanted Mr. Sudaresan to come here. So he came here, and all the three, they decided they will begin the school in the year 1993. On the visit, they came here, they spent good time with the Dr. Varghese Philip and all, and they decided we will begin the school in the year 1993. Can you follow what has happened now? Okay, that is how the school came into being. That is how school came into being in this area. Okay, now I invite Mrs. Kalpana Martin, the eldest daughter, the only daughter. He has other son. Okay, she is here. We are privileged to have here. She along with her two daughters are here. Now she will share memories, the memory lane. She will share the sufferings, the cost paid by her father and the family and everything else to help us to trace the roots that line. May I invite, shall we give a good clap?
Good afternoon, everybody. How many of you feeling very sleepy? Feeling sleepy? You want to sit, stand, jump a little? Yes? Yes or no? No. You're going to listen? Yes. Okay. I'm so happy to be here on behalf of my father. Yesterday, around this time, when I entered the campus, I don't know, I was so overwhelmed because I could see my father and my mother everywhere. I miss my mother so much today because I could see her, the whole spirit of my father and mother here. For my father, the school and Santosh Vidyalaya, he breathed, he ate, he drank. Nothing but the school. I still remember when Santosh Vidyalaya was started, he was so enthusiastic. Pondrajanan was not in the car that time, but he used to come and help my father. He used to, daddy used to draft all the letters, and Anna used to come in the nights to type it all. But then my uncle was supposed to take over, but then he dropped out, and Annan came into the team. And that's how Santosh Vidyalaya, Anna was part of Santosh Vidyalaya. And after that, every time anybody comes to our house, it will be only the school. And I still remember one day when my cousin was visiting, my father was talking non-stop. He used to talk about the school. And he was telling, I want to give the children the best. You know, we have these public schools, they have swimming pools, they have horse riding, everything. I want to give my children the best. The children should not miss out on any of this. So of course, I think Santosh Vidyalaya had something called a swimming pool there. And he was so insistent that children should learn swimming. And for this horse riding, I will not forget his idea. He told him, you know, buying horses is not very easy. It's a very expensive affair. So I was just thinking, why can't we buy a donkey? And we were all, what? We were just, we can't talk to my father back, okay? So we can't say, no, daddy, that will not work. And I don't think anybody sitting here would dare to talk to my father back, give suggestions and all, unless you're asked for. So we all kept quiet, and my cousin came to me and said, Eddie, did you listen to what your father said? Donkey vanga parara unga appa. He wants to teach the children horse riding with a donkey. He was so enthusiastic. I know sometimes his enthusiasm was too much for everybody to bear. I'm sure many of your people who have worked with him, who have been with him, you will know. You know, you can't keep pace to him. Even in his walking, I think he was very fast. Can any of you guys, I don't know if you had known him, till he was 70, none of us could keep pace to his walking. I remember my brother was telling when he was diagnosed of this cancer and he went to CMC, Daddy was just walking. He went up, the doctor is coming behind him. He went somewhere and then he turned and looked, the doctor wasn't, we were all coming behind, he walked so fast. You know, my father, he can't keep pace even in his walking or in, okay. Like to say a few things. I think he was a terrible disciplinarian. Boys, girls, old students, how many of you agree? What time? 5 o'clock, right? Even if it is cold or not, you guys had to go. My children were asking, did that include the teachers? I don't know. You were also there? Great. No teachers? Compulsory? No? Compulsory. Okay, so it was compulsory. I think that was something that was in him. Discipline. I still remember he was in the NCC when he was in college. He was in charge of the naval wing. And I still remember one parade that I attended in the college. Somebody, after the parade, they did not give that command disperse. And somebody moved. Oh my God, my father threw into a rage because that one boy moved. And that was, mind you, in college. In college, boys are supposed to be free. Yeah? Any college going kids here? You should know you're supposed to be free. Nobody can control you. But my father would never be scared of anybody. Even when he was in college, he said, you do whatever you want. Another thing, he was a man of principles. I still remember when he was doing his corrections, when university papers come, they come and give money. If they want, if they know that your paper is with this particular person, they can give money, give the number, and ask you to pass. There was one person from some important government office. He came, and my father said, told my mother, I don't want to see that person. If they give me the number, I will make sure that person fails. In case I don't have that number, grace mark I might give and pass them off. He was always there in the hospital when the children were born. One thing, he was a man of prayer. I don't know how many of you know this incident. He told us there was provision for 1 week. You know, Rojita? There was provision only for 1 week. And my father said, if I'm not going to beg, borrow, or steal, we believe in a God of Moses, a God who fed so many thousands of people in the desert. If that is the God we are worshipping, that God will provide for us. So 1 week we are going to have food. After that, I don't know what is going to happen. And he threw this challenge to the children and he asked them to pray. So they were all little ones were sincerely praying. That's what I heard. They were all praying. And there was this, one day we had a guest in the night and he came and asked my mom, Auntie, if I have to send some money to uncle, how do I send it? So my mummy said, can you just come tomorrow? I will check and let you know. She made some calls and they gave the address and they said it has to go through Votan So the next day she gave him all the details. We did not know about the challenge that was thrown in this campus. We were all in Thuthukudi. And this guy came and he sent the money. We did not know how much he sent also. And then Daddy was so surprised, you won't believe, it was long time back, maybe 20 years back, that man gave 1 lakh. 1 lakh. And my dad asked him, how did you think of giving me 1 lakh? It was big money then. So he said, how did you think of giving me 1 lakh? And he replied, he said, Uncle, we were traveling from Donavur to Thuthukudi. I came with you. You were coming in my car. And all that you were talking was about the school. We are doing this, we are doing that, and all that you spoke. You never asked me even once, we have a need. You never opened your mouth. If you had asked me, Uncle, I would have given you 5,000 because it's Ivan Uncle. I would have given 5,000. But because you did not ask, I felt that I should give 1 lakh. And that fed the school. It was so surprising for us. We heard this story after he came back for holidays. We did not know anything at all. What he sent, how much he sent, we did not know. Whether he sent itself, we did not know. But that was the God he trusted in. He trusted in miracles. I don't know how many miracles would have happened here, but always he trusted God. Prayer. I don't know how many of you, your seniors sitting here, your names will be in his notebook. He'll be praying for you. Now, there are so many of you who regularly call him. I know Pondrajanan's daughter, she regularly calls him. The few of you came for my mom's funeral too. You know, I still remember 3 or 4 boys, they came for my mommy's funeral. So, all your names, he will have it and he will pray very, very regularly. He cared for the weaker section. Financially, he will help a lot of people. Yesterday, I went to meet one Mr. Arjun and my daughter called him and she told him, Dada, we saw this one Mr. Arjun. We went to his house. He was so happy. He said, did you meet his daughter? I said, no, I haven't seen her yet. I haven't met her. So he cared for people so much. And when I was going, Vasantaka was taking me around this campus. When I went near the kitchen, there were a lot of ladies who came running to me. They said, "You are Baliyaka, right? You are Baliyaka." Do you remember me last time we came? I'm so sorry, I'm very bad with memory. I don't remember you. But they all remembered me and they all said, "We wanted to see uncle. We thought he will come. He's very, very weak after the surgery. He's very weak, so he doesn't move out of the house. That's why he couldn't make it." Having said about my father, I have to tell about my mother. I think she also played a very big role in your campus. Wherever my father created a deep wound, my mother was the balm. How many of you agree to that? My mom was the balm. She was there apologizing to everybody. She was there healing them, talking to them, consoling them. You know, she played a big role here. Though we all talk about daddy, of course, daddy did something great, but she was a support. She supported him and she was always there with everybody. She loves nature. She likes to go walks and be here, all that she loved. And she loved people. She was always there for everybody, whoever wanted her. She used to pray with people. Even when she's walking on the road, she would say, "Yo, Pavam." I said, "What Pavam?" "Did you look at that lady's eyes? There's some problem in her." "Ma, she's somebody on the road." She could see in people's eyes their suffering, whatever pain they went. She will go and talk. I remember when I took mommy to CMC for radiation, I think I was there for one radiation, I was with her. The whole crew, the radiation department crew, they all came running. "Auntie Kenachi, what happened to auntie? What happened to auntie?" Because when my father was sick, she had made friends with all of those people working in CMC. And they immediately, even if it's a big crowd, they will take mummy in first. Once they see mummy's face, they will take her in. Because she played a big role in many people's lives. So this campus is just not my father, it's my mother too. Because she has also made a lot of sacrifices. She was alone in Thoothukudi because I was married, my brother was not married. So everybody at home coming and going, she was there. I still remember when my daughter, who was younger one, was born. I think just 4 or 5 days before she was born, she came from Orissa to Thoothukudi. And I was expecting any time, and my friend was also on the way, same time we were expecting. And suddenly one day my phone rings and I pick up the call at 5 o'clock and somebody is calling and say, "Rupa has got a boy baby." You won't believe, I started crying. I said, "I want mommy. Because I'm scared I will also have child and my mommy will not be around." So I called my brother immediately and I said, "Send mommy." He said, "Only yesterday she has come. Last night only she came. Why do you want her now?" "No, send mommy. She didn't even bother. Next bus she took and she came and landed in Coimbatore. So mommy has made a lot of sacrifices for this school. We have been to Santosh Vidyalaya. We used to go often to Santosh Vidyalaya, but here this is my second visit. I still remember I was fighting with Pondrajanan because I did not know Santosh Vidyalay's 25th year. I think I came to know about it the last moment. I thank Tej for inviting me. When he told me, I was like wondering, will I be able to make it? But I did make it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's not just my dad, it is also my mom who was here. And I praise God. I wanted my children to come because they have to see. All these people I spoke to yesterday, they said, "We are what we are because of Ivan uncle." Today there was one Joy, was his name Joy? He was just talking and he said, "You're Ivan uncle's granddaughter?" "Yeah, he's my favorite. Go tell him that you've met me. I am what I am because of Ivan uncle." I'm so proud of my parents and I'm thankful for giving me this chance. Thank you.
Thank you. So, how are you all now? How are you? Fine. Only the students are fine. How about others? Huh? Elders are not allowed to speak. Huh? Everybody can. Oh, Akka said everyone is awake. Everyone is? Yes? Yeah. In the month of August, I attended a funeral. In the month of August, I attended a funeral. A missionary couple from not West Bengal, but from Calcutta, they have to travel to Jharkhand. 4 hours travel. A couple came there and they talked of, they have grown up, they have high school going children, two, one son and a daughter. And after the funeral, family members are all talking, friends, well-wishers are all talking. Uh, it is in Kanyakumari district, okay? And that missionary couple, especially the lady, she said, someone said, why did you bring all the way to Santosh Valia, your children? There is a school in Orissa. She said, Ananda Niketan is closed. Ananda Niketan is closed. Out of curiosity, I asked her, how long? She said it is closed for 6 to 7 years. It is closed for 6 to 7 years. Then I asked her, are you very sure? She said, I am damn sure. I am damn sure Ananda Niketan is closed. And I asked her, what is the reason? She said, the leaders are not good. The leaders are not. She is telling to me. She is telling to me. The leaders are not good. They are not doing rightly. So the school is closed. I asked her for 30 minutes, about 30 minutes the conversation is going. My family members, they couldn't resist themselves. They couldn't resist themselves. I am a very casual listener. I can always keep on talking, okay? And they said, do you know whom you are talking? They asked the girl. He said, this uncle is a very genuine person. He is a very good person. They said, he is the secretary of the school. He is the secretary of the school. And then she asked me, why did you close? She is working in FMBV. She is working in FMBV and she has the feeling, she was misinformed that Anand Niketan was closed. Okay? Anand Niketan was closed. Then I began explaining her, I don't know whether she believes my word or not. Okay? That she believes my words or not. Misinformation is a big enemy. Wrong information is a big enemy. Misinformation, wrong information is a big enemy. For any, regarding any vision, regarding any mission, regarding any institution, any kind of a thing, lot of misinformation will be spread, will be in the air against the thing. That is Satan's strategy. That is Satan's strategy. For the sake of some of the people who are interested, I want to read out few of the objectives incidental or ancillary to Anand Education Society. Everyone may not be interested, but someone will be deeply interested. So I want to read out these some of the things. To open Anand Education Society, to open educational institutions at suitable places anywhere in India where the need is felt and conditional, congenial to the education of young minds, to cultivate in them a love for nature, a respect for creator, a legitimate pride in our cultural heritage, a sense of national, social, emotional integration, a social concern for the poor and underprivileged, and a one world view along with sound theoretical and practical knowledge imparted in fulfillment of the demands of the academic streams chosen. This is one of the major thrust of Anand Education Society. Another ancillary reason to admit children of different language groups, to admit children of different language groups, preference being given to the children of Indian Christian missionary workers in remote areas with less accessibility to educational institution for Indian Christian mission. This is a very, very important. There are 18 things. One big thing is to provide residential school facility to these privileged people. This is some of the salient features of Anand Education Society, and Anand Niketan is one of the schools. So we are talking about the mission and vision. God has been faithful in imparting the vision to Professor Ivan Balasingh. And Professor Ivan Balasingh is not a person who always wants to work individually. He believes in the brotherhood of saints. He believes in the fellowship of saints. He always wanted to build a community of people. Three important names I want to remember this time. One is Dr. Varghese Philip and his wife Nirmala, and associates Dr. Jaita Avas and his wife, and then Dr. Manoj. So Dr. Varghese Philip and his team. These are the people, the prime movers for Anand Niketan to come to Odisha or come to specifically Lambda Put. Another great person who is influencing in the formation of the community and society and the committee is Dr. K.O. John. Rajita mentioned about him in the morning. Dr. K.O. John, he was a surgeon. When he was in the prime of his surgery business, surgeon work, he left it and followed the Lord in teaching. And these days he is involving in LRS, Life Revision Seminars, and conducting various scripture things. In those earlier days, he was working with a Christian Fellowship Hospital in Vottansadram. He, along with Ivan Anand, formed the team. Dr. Varghese Philip also helped him to decide the team. So along with these three, a key team or a committee, Anand Education Society, was formed. By God's grace, I was the youngest member of that committee. By God's grace, I was the youngest member of the committee. Anand and Dr. John spent individual time with the individuals, explaining the need, explaining the various costs one has to pay to be in that committee. It is not coming, going, drinking tea and leaving. Committee is not coming, drinking tea and leaving. You have to pay a cost. And then explain everything behind it. Very carefully, he builds a team. God has been faithful to build a team through Ivan Anand for this great task. So, some of the members are here today, and three of us in the committee are his students. Dr. Selvin, as he said, he was his student in a college, and the present chairman, Mr. Agustin Sundar Singh, and myself, we are his students when he taught in the college, okay? And many are, all are mentored by him in one way or other. All are mentored by him in one or other. I said he is a committed person to the committee, to the group. So much so, even though he was senior, even though he knows everything else, Mr. Punraj was the first secretary for this Anand Education Society. For each small decision, he used to write a letter of requisition to him. I still remember someone mentioned about the purchase of a bike in 1994. I wrote the letter on behalf of Ivan, a requisition letter to Mr. Punraj asking his sanctioning for each individual decision, even though he can take a decision, he always calls for the collective decision of the decision. God has been faithful. And in the way of development, God has brought lot of people into his contact. But few names I want to mention. Do you remember Sundaraj uncle? Some of the senior member and the first batch students, Sundaraj uncle and Ranjita auntie. They came, they mingled with him, they helped him in many ways. They helped him. They raised financial support, prayer support abroad. Sugandaraj uncle and Ranjita auntie, and then John Bennett uncle and Shali auntie. Through these two couples, God brought one Presbyterian church in America in touch with us. The Sunday school children of the Presbyterian church in America, they very cheerfully and sacrificially gave lot of things to the school. Most of the books in the library, they are from that Presbyterian congregation. Most of the books, they are the personal books of John Bennett uncle. Some of the books by Sugandaraj uncle. So this is how God has developed a team. Through this couple, God brought one Maxence. He is the missions director for that Presbyterian church. Then one Bob Garner. He himself a very interesting person, a very loving person, very sacrificially he brought. And in India, God has raised lot of people to the as Bali shared, Kalpana shared in the meeting, Annan's birth is only Anand Niketan after 93. He used to keep lot of albums in his cycle, in his scooter, and in his house, in the teapot, there will be lot of albums showing the students various incidents. Whenever anybody comes, he won't give tea, he won't give water, he will only show the album. This, this. Somehow he will make them to love the school and to do something for the school. And as a result, lot of people, yesterday I was talking with Rojita, she remembered lot of people. One Samraj uncle, he retired from government service. Retired means not fit for government service. That is the government says. After retirement, he came and he helped in building that L block, Rojita remembers how he mixed that concrete mixture and everything else. Right from morning till late light hours, he used to work. He was a government official. So many people would have been reporting to him every day when he was in service. Here, along with the casual workers, he worked. One Laddy sir, do you remember, senior boys? Laddy sir? Did you remember? The March fast man. When did you take up for jogging in the morning? Morning 5:30. For 5 years he is here. Like that I can say, lot of people, through Annan, God is developing a good team to pray for, to help, to teach, to help the people of Anand Niketan in any category. God developed and is still developing. He is faithful to develop a team for the vision of Anand Niketan. He has been faithful to develop a team for people. One such person is Mr. Sundaresan. God is providential. One day I was leaving for a camp in Pachalur. So I asked Mr. Sundaresan to meet me in Salem bus stand. It is in the year 1992. Before 90 I suppose. In the year 1990. So Mr. Sundaresan came to see me in Salem bus stand, casual. There Ivan Anand was with me. We both were traveling from my house. I introduced Sundaresan to Ivan Anand. On the first visit, Sundaresan was teaching in a private school in Salem, getting good salary. On the first visit itself, Anand extended an invitation to Sundaresan to come and teach in Santosh Vidyalaya. That is how they both came into being, and God helped both of them to forge a very warm relationship to take the vision to this far. Okay, so now it is time for Mr. Sundaresan to come and share some of his experiences.
Good evening, friends. I would like to read a Bible verse. Please listen to me carefully. It is taken from Psalm 136, verse 1. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. On this special day of 25th year of Anand Niketan, we mention God is so faithful. So we celebrate God's faithfulness on this day. How good he was. That's what I want to share a little bit from my experience. And so many people mentioned about Uncle Ivan. Uncle Ivan is in Tuticorin now, praying for each one of us. He has a prayer diary and he prays for everyone regularly, as Sister Kalpana mentioned. When Santosha Vidyalaya decided to extend one more school in North India, and they thought of what name should be given to this school. That time, Uncle Ivan asked the students, you give a name for a school in North India. And that's why the suggestions came. Finally, Uncle wanted the word joy should be there in the school. The word joy. That's what the word Anand came. And the Niketan means house. So Anand Niketan means house of joy. House of joy. That's why the name is placed. But when we came in 1993, this place where we have this big hall full of cashew trees. Okay, there was no building, but school was started in the campus of Achakiran. There were 3 rooms, 1 room. My wife Prabha and I stayed, and another room for boys, another room for girls. And the Tej can explain. Tej, Prabhu, those are the people. That's why it was started in 1993. And the inauguration was on 24th June 1993 from IEM, the missionary, Dr. Theodore Srinivasagam. He prayed and inaugurated Anand Niketan School. And very small beginning, humble beginning, but God, because of his faithfulness, carried us through all these 25 years of school. So let's give a big hand to glorify God. And there was a small staff team, but they were doing their best in midst of limited facilities. Then there was Dr. Vakis Philip and Dr. Nirmala. They were on the campus and they were giving us medical help and moral support over there. Then school wanted to expand. That time school had only 3 classes, class 1, class 2 and class 3. Only 3 classrooms. So school wanted to grow, need more space. That's what the committee decided to buy a land. That time, this land was bought. And do you know what's the name of this campus? Yeah, Anand 1. Because of many trees on the campus, it is named as Anand 1. Then the first 3 classrooms were continued in the classrooms over there, this end, the tiled building. There are 5 rooms and 3 rooms for 3 classrooms, one for office cum principal room, and next one is for store room. That's how it started. Very humble beginning. But God helped each one of us. When Uncle Ivan wanted to help, wanted to establish, and wanted to see every child is happy on the campus, he involved for 8 years, continuously staying on the campus, preparing the staff team and giving various training to the students so that they may excel in their areas of growth. And God never failed us. That's what Bible says. Never will I fail you, never will I forsake you. That was the experience. In midst there were ups and downs, but God was with us in midst of all this situation. Then the first admission of Anand Niketan was David Saminthan Tontang. That's a one a boy from Northeast, and he was the first admission that was done on 23rd June 1993. And the first year, there were only 33 children. Now, how many are here? 200? 200 plus, you are here. See how God is shaping your life. I'm so glad to mention the alumni. They led this morning session wonderfully. See how God shaped them. They were in various places and doing wonderful jobs. Many pastors and mission workers and other business and other enterprises and aeronautical engineers, doctors. Say, my dear children, I want to encourage you. God will not fail you. So that's what we celebrate His faithfulness. And they know the humble beginning of the school, how they grew with all the limited situations. But God lifted them up. Just I want to encourage you with one more verse from Philippians chapter 4, verse 19. It says, and my God will meet all your needs according to His glorious riches in Christ Jesus. So, my dear children, remember this. God will definitely bless you and keep trust Him. He is trustworthy God. May God bless you.